Have you ever found the urge to explain something or justify yourself or share a little more than you should just to make sense of a situation? But here's what I have learned. There's always more to a situation than we see. Every person has a backstory, struggles, and experiences that we may not be privy to. And because of that, wisdom sometimes means staying silent. Today, let's talk about why holding back can be one of the most powerful things to do. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into something we all struggle with, knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. In our relationship, it's easy to think we know the full story, but there is always something happening behind the scenes than what we see. And that's why learning the power of discretion, not sharing everything and explaining everything, can be a game changer. It can save relationships, protect peace, and honestly, keep us out of unnecessary drama. Recently, a dear friend of mine found herself in a her brother-in-law had a massive heart attack and was hospitalized. In that moment, he asked for privacy. Only immediate family, including my friend, were informed. But soon after, she received a message from another sister. Something this serious happened, my sister, and you couldn't tell me? Am I not important? Am I not your sister too? That's what was in that message. And my friend, she was stunned. She didn't mean to exclude anyone, but she also wanted to respect his privacy. She wanted to respect his wishes. She asked me, Nish, what do I do? I'm really sorry I didn't tell you. The truth is, our brother-in-law wanted this to remain private for now, and I tried to respect that. As we grow older, our families expand. Our children, they get married, we gain sons-in-laws and daughters-in-laws and grandchildren. That means family dynamics shift. I'm learning that not everything is mine to share. And sometimes keeping things private is the best way to show love and respect. I hope you understand. This message acknowledged her hurt feelings, but also set boundaries. Some things are not ours to share. This whole situation reminded me of times in my life when I didn't handle things so well. There were moments when I shared private matters thinking I was helping. But if I'm honest, sometimes I wasn't just trying to bring peace. I was also trying to explain myself, make my loved ones look good, or even shape the story to fit my own perspective. I thought I was being helpful, but in reality, I was gossiping. And that's a hard truth to admit. Here's what I've come to realize. There's always a backstory. People are going through things we have no idea about. They may not be ready to share. They might still be processing. They might be protecting someone else's privacy. And because we don't always know the full picture, we have to be extra careful about how we respond. This reminds me about a story in the Bible, the story of Jesus and the woman caught in adultery. In John 8, the Pharisee dragged a woman before Jesus, saying she had been caught in the act of adultery. According to the law, she should be stoned. But Jesus, he didn't respond right away. Instead, he knelt down and started to write something in the sand. Can you imagine the silence in that moment? The crowd kept pushing him for an answer, and finally he stood up and he said, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." One by one they walked away. Jesus turned to the woman and said, "Where are your accusers? Has no one condemned you?" She answered, "No one, Lord." And he said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Jesus knew the full story. He could have exposed everything. He could have put people in their place. He chose wisdom. He chose to hold back. And when he finally spoke, his words carried weight. That is the power of discretion. Friends, there is always more to a situation than we see. And because of that, we need to be careful. We need not to jump to conclusions, not to assume we know the full story, not to let emotions push us to overshare, and not to take offense when people choose to keep their things private. The Bible reminds us how powerful words are. In Proverbs, he says, "Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble." Sure, let that sink in. So, what can we take from this? Not everything is ours to share. Some stories aren't meant for us to tell. Explanations aren't always necessary. Trying to justify things can cause more harm than good. Silence is powerful. Jesus showed us actually when to be silent and when to speak. Gossip isn't always obvious. Sometimes we share our concern, but it isn't really our place to do so. Wisdom grows with practice. If you've overshared before, just like I have, don't beat yourself up. Learn and move forward. Life is a journey and we're all learning. If you've ever shared something you shouldn't have, don't feel condemned. Just take it as a lesson. The next time you feel tempted to share or explain or justify something that really isn't yours to, pause and ask yourself, is this my story to tell? Or is this a moment to practice discretion? Let's be intentional about the words we speak and the words we hold back. Because sometimes silent isn't a weakness, it is wisdom. If this message resonated with you, please let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, remember, keep a sharp mind, a soft heart, and a thick skin. Bye for now. See you in the next video.